So as we await the first submissions for this session of your levels, we're going to look at something new from Loop and Snoop. And it's going to be Refreshing Garbzilla number 6. Refreshing levels have awakened an ancient beast, Garbzilla. Save us, Link. So we can see already that's a parody of some of the refreshing levels that have apparently taken over the top charts in the last little while. We don't really tend to play from the top charts on our end, so it seems like at this point that we have seen more levels making fun of refreshing levels than the refreshing levels themselves, but this seems to be a very interesting spin on the concept, so why don't we take a look. Okay, so we can expect stomping down somewhere very cathartically, with lots of effects flying everywhere. And so yeah, let's see the text that's underneath the thwomps. Start, it says. Alright, let's go. And here's the usual part, we just kind of stomp our way down. It's going to change power-ups a few times. And it's not going to let us through here. Oh, okay. Looks like the machine has broken. And that's going to open up, and we have a bit of a dragon boss that is saying, ah, and help me. I think we need help just as much. Oh, that looks like it might be a time limit, actually. Didn't expect that coming. Oh, I see, there's an arrow that just points inside the pipe and forces you to move in. There was quite a bit going on in that room. Do we have sound cut out already? Wow, okay, hang on just a second. This is always a risk with levels like this. Sound is just going to cut out right away. Give me a moment to fix that. And yeah, something about levels like this tend to just trip up our ability to handle noise, it seems. But that's why we run it as a warm-up, in case of issues like this. So let me that fixed up quickly. And we are back. I've been trying to debug what happens with the audio, and it is something that is effects related when it comes to just an overload of visual information, I think. Or audio-visual information. Okay, we're just going to lose SMB2. I don't know if it's actually going to be required as we get into the next section, and it seems not because we are going to be Link. Going to enter Garbzilla. Yeah. Good thing we read that correctly. Looks like a bit of a mysterious Murasame castle that we've got here. Oh wow, didn't even see the hammers busting everywhere. Okay. And whoa, didn't expect that. Looks like we actually need to get inside this boot. But oh, without a key door we don't. Okay. We had to start, but we got crushed. Quite possible the way the key doors are matched. It's just mainly for decoration. Let's see if we can actually get in here so we can get lifted by the boot. I think that is the idea. Although, get crushed there. The on-off trampoline is massively underrated. I agree with that, Pablo. Hey Pablo, queue is empty right now. If you want to join, you'll be the first one after this. And yeah, I love the on-off trampoline. I think it has lots of uses that are not just the typical on-off trampoline functionality. Maybe we shouldn't get trapped in a boot. It restricts our movement a little too much, and I want to stay outside in order to grab the stars. Okay. There we go. And yeah, don't want to get crushed. Oh, now we've been trapped. Okay. We probably don't want to get inside the shoe then. Yeah, as always, to my viewers, do let me know if there are sound problems. We actually already had sound cut out once already in this level, but that's why we are running it as a bit of a stress test. See that our setup is actually able to handle it, which, you know, with a joke level like this, can be hard to tell. Okay, Master Sword, there we go. I think our sword is going to run out at this point, but we did manage to take out the Angry Sun, so that's going to ease our way through. Mostly. Oh, here's more stars, except we are going to get lifted now once again. Through the shoe. And if we get lifted through the shoe, we get crushed. Okay. The general principle, I think, is that we do not want to get stomped. Don't want to get into the shoe. And we'll just duck while we have the Shelmet. Okay, here we go. Let's clear these things out. Got the sun as well. Ah, managed to slip out of the boot. Wonderful. Okay, managed to clear all these guys out of the way. Oh, there we are, trapped in a boot. Let's see if we can get out. Okay, as long as we don't get trapped in the claw, I think we might actually be fine. It's just that the claw will kill you. Yeah, and the claw, getting trapped in a boot will kill you no matter what, it seems. There's no way out. So, me name be Pablo. Thank you for giving me a Trollcate bar. Kind of like a troll chocolate? Yes? Oh, no, we got trapped in a boot again. There is a way to slip out of the boot in a particular spot. We saw that earlier. But I think we have passed that spot already, and that we are probably just dead. Yeah. Well, what would you do for a Klondike bar? If one of those things is playing through a troll level, then who knows? Okay. You know what? We should be using the P markers, because the P block markers do tell you where the safe spots are that will not get stopped. And I had not really been paying attention to that previously, but that does seem to be reliable as a safety zone. Whoops. And so, yeah, this is probably much more reliable than I'm giving it credit for. Although we need to actually see our position on the screen, and we got stomped by the boot once again. Trapped in the shoe. Okay. Here we go. You guys gotta stay nice and low. Clear out everything we can. Get rid of the Angry Sun, that's very important. Refresh on a Master Sword, that's also important. Now, is Larry gonna come out of here and join us? No, probably not. We'll just grab more stars, and that should be able to clear out some room. Oh, we got the Cloud, but unfortunately, the Cloud isn't gonna help us when we are destined to be crushed. Yeah, this is quite a lot of fun. You should have seen the first part of this level. This is actually a bit of a joke level that is... the idea here is if one of those refreshing levels breaks, like the refreshing levels where you just stomp your way down to the ground and see all the special effects, the idea behind this level is that that machinery has broken and sends you into the feet of this massive boss. So yeah, I am enjoying it quite a lot so far. Okay, let's go again. And here we go. We'll just bust our way through. Checkpoint. Looks like this is going to be a bomb. Great. Love the instantaneous reaction of the bomb making contact with the lava. Oh, look at this little arm claw here that is sending us lots of fish. Apparently, lots of invisible blocks. That's a cool little effect, though. Love the track layout. Now, what is our actual objective here? It seems like we should be getting... there's an on-off switch up there, but I think it might be decorative, or maybe not. No, it's not decorative, because it will land something on the POW. We could always just throw a bomb to try to blow this up. That seems to be correct. Oh no, that's an awe, because we were supposed to use it as a platform. I see that now. Yeah, if you unblock everything, then you lose the platform. And I think that is actually going to be a death. Unless, blow that up, and head across, hit the POW. Yeah, look at this whole mechanism just disassemble. Oh no, we lost Link. Okay, now we're dead. Okay, no, we needed to bust our way all the way through here safely. We just needed to keep Link for one more bomb throw. And that would get us to the back of the head. If we get to the back of the head, then we are fine. This is going to be... Now, interestingly, this seems to try to enforce a spiny hat lock, and if you're sensible, that's what you would do, but I think it's actually possible to just break your way through without the spiny hat. And that's fine. You'd only do that if you are silly, like me. Reminds you of Mecha Bowzilla? Yeah, I think it's definitely meant to have that sense of scale. Okay. Yeah, we know from all these wings here that these are cheap blocks. We just need to be careful about stuff like that, because they're going to come back around, and we definitely don't want to deal with it. So... Yep, definitely want to just get rid of that. There we go. Great. Oh, love how it actually gives you these chomp stump platforms here. I didn't know about that. Okay. Oh, almost lost to the bullet bill there, but we'll just kind of keep our heads low and not get nuked like we did last time. Okay, there we go. Up we go. And then I guess we're supposed to stop this. Nice. Very nice. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. Lost a spiny hat. It's okay because this will basically act as a hat lock anyway. For the THX 1138. If it gets us over to the X, and that's a GG. Hey, welcome Zombeats. Thank you for Quarantine Quirks. And Whiteheart, thank you for dropping by as well, and for the GGs. Let's get into the queue. That's definitely, like, fantastic kind of comedy slash boss level by Snoop. Howdy. Hope you're doing well, Wizoak. And thank you for the addition of your code. Me name be Pablo. Let's take a look at yours. Now, me name be Pablo did show us a cross between a troll level and a chocolate bar, apparently. So we're going to take a look at that. We'll get through the queue, and eventually we will get to Wizoak's Game of Trolls Troll Landing. Looks like it's going to be a bit of a troll night over here. Yeah, Garbzilla is what happens when, you know, Mecha Bowzilla just kind of retires to a world of refreshing levels. Okay, a little puzzle troll level. We'll see how little it is. Since we have a few troll submitters tonight, I'll just kind of go over my general rule for that. I do play troll levels, of course. I don't always finish them in one sitting, depending on how quickly we progress and how long the queue is. But if I don't finish them in one sitting and I'm enjoying my time, I will ask you to kind of resubmit and we finish it in multiple parts. We've had a lot of long troll levels that we have finished on this stream before, over multiple submissions. So that's how it works. So let's take a look at this little puzzle troll level that is 20 seconds and has one clear so far, but it is very, very new. And there is cheese in it. Okay, that's fine. I am definitely used to the idea of playtesting, you know, early versions or beta versions that are still being fixed. So I don't mind that at all. We do need to just go fast. We know from the 20-second record that it is doable in 20 seconds, and it seems that we just don't really have time to hang around. Wrong. Okay, looks like there's a whole bunch of stuff down there. We'll just take a look at this anyway. And that's death. Okay, so it looks like this is going to give us a little bit of clue. Go right and down. That's fine. So it is just a bit of a very simple introductory pick a path. And then that is going to be a spin jump. Okay, and down we go, and we'll continue. Thank you for the follow. Now... Okay, now we get on here. We probably needed that guy to bust something, I'm sure, but... Okay, so... Let's think about what activated the P-switch. Hey, Real Cuban Pete. Thank you for dropping by, and thank you especially for checking the news. We had a few rule changes this week, whoops, just to try to improve the experience for both our subs and our general submitters. Whoops, got a spin jump here. And yeah, I know it's a massively long rule sheet, but the idea is pretty simple. I do accept all kinds of levels. I don't necessarily spend an equal amount of time on each of them, but I try to be fair and, you know, keep things watchable, so don't feel afraid to submit anything. And we get to this pipe down here. Okay. And that is right near the axe, and it looks like there's something to the left. I should try progressing that way just for one or two more attempts to see what is to the left there. Gotta remember to spin jump. I'll see why there is a 20-second world record. Okay. And Real Cuban Pete, thank you for a bad balloon barracks. Whoops. Have to spin jump. Really glad to see that the whole viewer level scene in this game continues to be so active. That everybody's continuing to make and submit their levels, and whoops. And I got clipped in my feet on that jump. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it is a troll maze. We just have to explore a bit and make sure we've checked the various paths. And it seems like it is one of those troll levels that is fairly good about giving us visual clues for... How's that? We are checking. Punchers are all going to fall down here. Okay. Let's take a look at this thing here. Oh, that just comes across. Okay, interesting. But there is a safe platform here and here. And looks like that's going to be a side swamp that goes this way. Interesting. I mean, that's not going to be within 20 seconds, but we'll just see. Okay. We'll just see what kind of visual clues we received. Turn on comments. Okay, I mean, that's counting on your level not becoming popular, because then people just won't be able to see the comments, but start over. Yeah, this is the first time I've actually seen like a comment-dependent troll like that in a while, actually, but we'll just follow that instruction. And yeah, I love this community. Whoops, I didn't actually read that. I had to stand some distance away from that in order to read that in the first place. Hidden dev exit. Hint, the path normally blocked by a munching enemy. We've kind of seen a number of things that are muncher blocked. But we do know there's that muncher drop that is right to the left of the axe, and that might be something like that. Whoops. But yeah, you know, I really do enjoy how good this game is to the experience of being in a small Twitch stream, and that's not just as a streamer, but also as a viewer, that, you know, you get a very tight-knit sense of community even on streams that have, like, under 10 or 20 people. And most games really can't say that. Like, most games, you know, I think things feel often kind of quiet and not very social for a while. The path that is normally blocked by a munching enemy. Well, this is blocked by a munching enemy. Unless there's another muncher later on that we just haven't thought about. I mean, there is the muncher that's at the very start. Hidden dev exit, eh? Okay, I'm just scouting ahead. I knew that was going to be a death. I just wanted to see what the structure around the axe was like. It looks like it's something that is P-switch dependent. Path normally blocked by a munching enemy. That is a conveyor belt set up top. I actually didn't know that was normally blocked by a munching enemy because we've gone too fast to see that every time. But that seems to be at least part of the solution. That's just going to be straight up pick a pipe. Oh no, don't think you're getting off that easy. P-switch. Oh, interesting that the semi-solid doesn't... Oh, because it's not a semi-solid, it's just the axe. Okay. Well, GG, okay. Pretty fair about the clues, actually. I did appreciate that. Let's just see how we're doing currently. And yeah, we'll have that roll Kate bar, roll Colette bar, and eat it too. Looks like we raised the clear rate on that quite a bit, actually. Kind of stumbled into the solution accidentally because I just didn't know that was a muncher block, normally. I'm glad we checked it. Let's pull up Zombeats. Yeah, Zombeats, Twitch tells me you are still here. It's always a good idea to confirm, but we'll punch your code in. Yep. Quarantine quirks. People in isolation are prone to madness. So, very few clears, so I'm not too worried about that 9-minute world record. It just tells me that somebody had a bit of trouble, or everybody had a bit of trouble after a certain checkpoint. Let's see how it goes. And love that cover image, which we'll see, I guess, when we get through that key door of Boom Boom just feeling very trapped. Boom Boom, you know, not self-isolating in a very spacious apartment. And me name be Pablo. Thank you for submitting an additional level 8 with the Road Run #1. Okay. Spike is going to be trapped there in such a way that he never has you in his line of sight. That's kind of neat. And therefore, never spawned a Spike Ball. That's going to tell me down. We're going to check this anyway, because I want to. I tend to do quite a bit of exploration when I play Whoops. And sometimes it gets me into trouble like that. Mr. Lesser, thank you for the submission of A Puzzle with Death. Okay. Let's check this path once again. Certainly going to be some kind of on-off pathing, as we can see from the blue pipe. Okay, so far so good. Oh, whoops. Yeah, that felt like it caught me a little bit blindly, but that's what happens when the SMB1 vine climbing is kind of dependent on which side you are standing on. Whoops. So we'll just continue exploring that pathway and get that sorted out quickly. I know I haven't checked the main checkpoint path that was denoted by the arrows yet, but we've been making progress here, so we'll take a look at it, and thank you for the follow. Worst thing about the final update, most features fans wanted were cut? what kind of features were you wanting that you had in mind? Because I mean, I know there was a lot of demand for something additional to go under additional styles, like an additional rule set, like a complete SMB2 rule set, for instance. But I actually really enjoy how they implemented SMB2 into the game. I think this was actually one of the better solutions that they could have come up with in terms of making it a power-up, like with Link. But that's partly because I have seen so many great SMB2 ideas already. Oh, Spike actually threw at me for once. Yeah, I've seen so many great SMB2 ideas that really lean into the fact that it is a power-up in this style. And I know it's not the same thing as, you know, receiving a full suite of Shy Guys and Birdo and so on, but... yeah, I get few enough people playing multiplayer to begin with that I don't really see that much value in kind of forcing things to be non-multiplayer if I want to use the tags for something else. Because it does take up one tag slot, right? I mean, I look at my levels and some of them have like 1 or 2 plays in multiplayer, and my levels are like completely unplayable in multiplayer. Like, they were never designed for that purpose. They almost certainly break like crazy. But I don't really feel like using a tag slot to lock it to single player. I can see why people would though, and I do appreciate the feature. Okay. Whoops. Restart from CP... yeah, well... Restart from CP is one of those things that probably feels more necessary in this game than it did in Maker 1 simply because you can't put things in the editor. I think Restart from CP definitely would have broken a lot of pre-patch levels, so in terms of troll levels, unless it were something that was an option locked to new levels only. Well, I mean, except, you know, obviously you have, like, you know that everything has to be clear checked from the CPs anyway, so it's not a big change, but, you know, with so many trolls having, like, back to CP0 traps and so on, you can see why that might be an issue. Whoops. I probably should explore the lower path at some point, at least once, but I'm progressing on this and I don't want to hit that CP yet, because it seems to lock me out of this path. Kind of enjoying this path. I'm playing very slothily, and it looks like everything is kind of blocked with the on-off anyway, so I think the main progression is, yeah, it's blocked with on-off anyway, so the main progression is that I will need to come up through here, hit an on-off switch, probably exit back through the blue pipe and then go downstairs. And then that continues to CP in this world. So yeah, this is the correct path, and the only path. We just need to be a little bit more careful about centering ourselves on top of those bumpers, which, you know, you would think that's a really easy thing to do, but sometimes we fail on easy stuff and sail right through hard stuff, and that's just how I play. And centering myself in a bumper is something that, you know, it is a skill set. Let's wait for the next round. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's not die on the spike this time. Yeah, you see what's going on here with the Divine Climb being side-dependent in SMB1. Okay. Pretty good so far for a platforming experience. We'll just need to center ourselves accurately. Whoop, that was not great. Let's wait for one more cycle. One more cycle. There we go. Let's be careful with Spike. And we are through. So yeah, for a standard platforming experience, pretty good so far. I'm never really fond of like trying to work around the hitboxes of the spike blocks. But, you know, we try to manage. And, oh, Cuban Pete, I don't know why it tried to hold that message from you. Let me just get in chat and fix that. Yeah, I'll catch up on chat in just a moment. I know there's a bit of talk about, you know, features that were requested in the game and which didn't actually get fulfilled. I was quite happy with the patch. I know that, you know, there's always going to be more things that we want out of Mario Maker, but... Okay, this is going to be interesting. We need to jump and just kind of drop into the next mine, I think. No. Missed the up input. And Lucio007, thank you for the speedrun. I don't think... I think that was only just a rumor that they were ever going to add any kind of option to extend the clock. I think extending the clock with something like what you call an infinite time option would have broke a lot of the clear check logic of this game. And I know people wanted it because they wanted to make like huge Metroidvania layouts or something, but you know, I don't think that was ever really practical, in spite of the fact that I do love gigantic exploration levels like that. Or something like a clock item, like what you see in 3D World, like actual 3D World, where you can get a clock refresh. But I think that would have, like, really created some, you know, trolly exploits, unless they implemented it in a very smart way. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the commentary. Yeah, no, I mean, like, playtesting for people from more of a maker's perspective is, you know, one of the reasons I started this stream to begin with. Because that's just how I mean, you know, that's what I try to do. I'm not one of those streamers who's just trying to beat hard stuff, because I'm not really that good. But I do love talking to makers about making. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying that. And here we go. And down. But yeah, you know, like when people make levels and they submit them to streams and so on, you know, you put so much effort into this stuff. And even into little things like coin placements and optional content and so on, that it's a shame not to kind of appreciate it for the details. Okay, clinging onto this vine is going to be a challenge. Here we go. Here we go. And then we'll slide gently down. Yeah, I feel like those always feel a little bit tight, the spike hitboxes. I don't think it's really fun to die to those, but, you know, it does keep you on your toes and make you careful, and so... I'm not complaining necessarily, I'm just saying that, like, it is one of those things that can be very frustrating to die to. Especially when you have vine climbs in SMP1 that are very positionally dependent. Okay. That was fairly smooth, though, and that's going to be on to CP in the main world. Final major update doesn't mean no more updates. Yeah, I think you're right. But I think that, like, we're not going to get really significant stuff from point on. Like, nothing that's really game-changing. I really wish that they would patch in better bookmarking features like they had in the first game. But in the first game, they kind of built that around the old Miiverse infrastructure and their old account system, like the NNID account system that was actually recently hacked. But I really missed the convenience of the old bookmark site, because, you know, if you took a long time off the game, that was one of the things that would really help you catch up with what's going on in Mario Maker. Was that in Maker 1, you could just open up a website and click on a couple of buttons, and then all the levels would just be waiting for you on your Wii U when you got home, right? And I feel like that kind of feature at this stage in the game would actually make more of a difference than just more pieces in the tool set. Obviously, as makers, we always get very excited about more tools in a tool set, right? But I feel like for the long-term health of the game, that the discoverability and the curation is something that still needs work. Thank you for checking the news, Mr. Lester. Yeah, we're trying out some new stuff. The stream has been growing lately faster than I've been able to, you know, kind of accommodate people properly, and so we've had some requests to sort of rethink how we do things like Super Worlds, and also introduce some benefits for our early run of subscribers. So, luckily for you folks that are in queue, we haven't really had our subs show up yet today, because a lot of them tend to show up later for time zone reasons, and so hopefully we'll get through everything fairly quickly. Whoops. Oh, okay. That's fine. I know the arrow points me that way, and that feels, you know, pretty fair actually, in that if I miss that location by ambitiously trying to get past that arrow and just go directly over, it is possible to just kind of go back to the left and drop my way around. Because one thing you'll discover when you watch me play is that I am terrible at following directions. Like, I don't really follow instructions when I play games, and so with levels that are much more dependent on following markers, I fail at them like crazy. Oh, whoops. Totally misjudging my jump height off the slope. Okay, here we go. And back down. Yeah. Yeah, I actually kind of like the spacing of that segment there. You know, again, it kind of keeps you on your toes, but it does not feel tight. This, I feel like, blaster timing, I'll need to kind of work out. Like, I want the first one to spawn well ahead of the second one. I don't know if there's a good way to do it without just killing one or both bullets. No, I need to kill the first one, I think. I didn't have them spawn together like that previously, and I really do need that extra room. Okay, let's get back down, and then over. There we go. Very nice. Okay. Progress. That looks like a bit of a bonus slot up here. No, that's actually required. Assuming the pink coins are required, which I think they are. Oh, the arrows were guiding me the whole way. I feel like the amount of reaction time I have going down to that claw is maybe a little bit quick, though, because, you know, when I drop down like that and see arrows, I don't know if my first instinct is really to think about, like, holding left, right? I mean, now that I've seen it once, I understand it completely. I think seeing it for the first time, I didn't quite understand what that was telling me, except, you know, that some kind of going left would be required. But now that I've seen it, I think the signal is very clear. Of course, I have to remember that you can't actually slide down the slopes in this style. Yes, actually, me name be Paulo. I know the Walk the Dog level because it's actually one of my old online friends who made it. Like a very, very popular maker. I think you're talking about Goku D's level. And Goku D is somebody I've known since Maker 1. And, I mean, his levels are way more popular than mine, but... Okay. Yeah, now that we understand this feels okay. I kind of wish I had, like, 1 or 2 tiles more of reaction time, but I know that everything here is packed pretty tightly, so... It's alright. Okay. Ooh, that jump. Okay, that's going to compel me to... Yeah. Move left to grab coin 4. Yeah, I have noticed, of course, that all of the pink coins here... Whoops. Terrible. I have noticed that all of the pink coins here are after the checkpoint, and so because they're all together in one segment, key depth should not be an issue, which is good. Okay. Yeah, because ultimately the key door is going to be when you pop back out of the red pipe. Whoops. Yeah, so for those of you new here, I do tend to stick with levels for pretty long if I'm enjoying them. But we tend to get a mix of short and long levels. I don't have a hard time limit, but in terms of wait time, if you're wondering what to expect, I usually average about, 20 minutes a level once we account for like some of them being long and some of them being short, so... but I know that like some people prefer streamers who like have a very strict time limit so they know exactly how long they're waiting. I don't really do that simply because there are some long levels that really need time to shine. There are some levels that I think are difficult to appreciate if you rush through them. Okay. Oh yeah, and you can see that pink coin very clearly. It's... okay. Ooh, the first time I missed that one. Hey, 127. Thank you for Super NES Na Brothers. Or Super NES Na Brothers. 1-2. I'm just going to refer to you as 127. Yeah, I've seen some pretty interesting usages, speaking of required key death, of pink coins and, the way that they interact with the entity spawning limit. That people have really learned how to trick out the coins and keys when it comes to how they are loaded into memory. And of course, every time you see a level that seems to have a required death, that just tells you that there is some kind of dev exploit that was involved for the clear check. But, you just kind of go with that. When you understand that that's what's happening. Whoops. First time I died to that. Okay, here we go. Yeah, everything in this level has felt pretty approachable. I can see why the clear rate would have been lowered just by length, that a lot of people would not necessarily have the... if they're people who do play under a strict time limit, like they would not stay on it for as long as I have. But I feel like everything here has been much more approachable than the clear rate suggests. That, normally I look at something like this, and with the obstacles themselves, it would feel more like a level that I would have expected to be like 5 to 10%, so I'm sure it's mostly just length that is suppressing the clear rate. Unless there is something really surprising that we haven't seen yet. But it's felt like a pretty nice, kind of relaxing experience that still gets us into trouble from time to time. So. Okay, just have to watch our horizontal distance there. And yeah, we'll drop that guy. And make it back down. Watch our heads. Okay. Back down we go. Whoop. Ooh, got shot in the face. Yeah, I should have actually hugged the vine on the left because that would have contained some of the bullet spawns and made that descent a little more reliable. I was, of course, just being a little bit impatient with trying to drop straight down that thing. I did not turn comments off. I forgot to. It's not going to be too much of an issue unless I play more puzzle-dependent levels, I guess. But yeah, sure, we'll just remember to do that. It's funny that I normally play with comments off now when I'm on stream, considering that I actually really did miss comments when Miiverse was deactivated in the first game. But But sometimes, you know, like with more popular levels, you just can't see a thing when comments are all over the place. So. And also because I play enough puzzle levels these days, rather, that I don't want solutions spoiled for me. You know, I don't want like a little tag that says check here if I'm still looking for a certain spot. But I do love that the comment functionality did return, though, because, you know, without something like Miiverse in the Switch era, I was kind of concerned about either that feature not returning or that feature being dependent on an outside service like Twitter, which is what happened with the Splatoon comments. It's like you basically needed to have Twitter integration to do Splatoon comments, and I thought it was unfortunate because, you know, not everybody has a video game account that they use on Twitter. But yeah, well, yeah, it's kind of true that story levels and, you know, anything that's kind of clue dependent like that had a bit of trouble. Wow, that was maybe too close. Like, I always thought it would be fun to have something like a murder mystery level, but yeah, we need to kind of respawn everything now. It's okay. Oh no, okay, that's fine. That's safe. Nope, we needed the top spawn. There we go. Okay, that spacing actually feels pretty good now. Oh no, that was a terrible way to die, okay. Movie a trivia level in SM11. Yeah, a lot of old levels like that just straight up broke after once were deactivated. I kind of wish, one thing that I feel like is missing from Maker 2 is that you need a way to display Maker comments only. That, like, if I'm turning comments off, like, I've got display comments off right now, but what if I had a level like the one that Pablo showed me earlier, where I actually do want to see the Maker comments? And I feel like a kind of setting where, you know, turning off comments would still show you Maker comments is something that was kind of important to have. I mean, because, you know, you have levels that have comments on in the title now, if they do depend on comments, but the problem is that if they're extremely popular, you just can't see a thing anyway, right? You can't actually read what the maker is trying to tell you. Yeah, so I feel like that's one thing that I definitely wanted to see improved. But yeah, it's a lot of those little features like that that are not about the toolkit that I feel like they could still have improved and worked on in this game. I actually really love the blaster reuse in this level, in that, like, this blaster kind of gets you over here, and it also gets you over to the left. You know, very efficient that way. Okay, we finally got past that. And yeah, sure, we'll just grab a 10 coin and say hello to this Wiggler here. Hello, Wiggler. And okay, looks like that will be, once again, dependent on jumping on the bullets. Oh, interesting, okay. Looks like we'll just drop into that, but oh. Did we need to spawn a bullet all the way over here? Or did I just need to kind of... There we go. Yeah. Alright. There we go. And through the key door. Hey, Electrodude, welcome. Hey, Electrodude, was really looking forward to that level, and you'll be glad to know that we have the sub queue up and running, and so, like, we will look at yours next. Okay, and so this level continues. Looks like we have a boss now. And I have to get used to SMB1 Larry's coloration every time. It's a little bit different. Okay, let me get up there. It feels like the bullet patterns here Or maybe not ideal right now because of the way they're synchronized. Yeah, Electrodude, I'm very excited to see that mechanic. I'm impressed that you managed to whip that together so quickly. So we'll just break that thing like crazy. Oh, okay, we killed him. I think we totally exploited this. Like, you can see that it's supposed to be an on-off pattern that drops you. We just straight up killed him. That's okay. I don't mind. I'm not complaining. Okay. Let's not die here. Yeah, especially because like the height off the top of bullet bounce is kind of naturally going to put you at risk of doing that double hit anyway, right? Like it's something that is actually kind of quite likely to happen. Thank you for Quarantine Quirks. That was actually a really nice level for, you know, a traditional level that's stretched out over a very sizable length that still feels very consistent in terms of the difficulty and the style of the challenges. So, great submission. Thank you for the GGs. I don't think the Koopalings are forgettable. I think that some people just have a very poor memory for the older games. If you grew up with SMB3 and Super Mario World, the Koopalings are unmistakable, particularly if you grew up with Super Mario World. Like, I think as somebody who kind of was there when it was still current, I have no trouble telling the Koopalings apart whatsoever, even though some of their movesets are very specific to this game. Okay, so let's see if this command actually works. Alright, Electrodude, let's take a look. I don't see how you can forget Lemmy, considering that Lemmy is probably mechanically the most unique. And he's always been associated with the ball, right? Okay, Fiery Factory of Blazing Blocks. Mario stumbles across a mysterious facility, but something is off. Yeah, so for those of you new here, Electrodude and I have been kind of talking about the tech in this level for the last few streams that have run here, because, well, we've just been talking about it when he was prototyping this thing, so I'm really excited to see how this turned out. Okay, that's just going to bump you right away. Yeah, so this level is all about the synchronization that you see between the pattern of things falling off the tracks, and whoa, that's kind of interesting, having the destruction come to the right. Yeah, the synchronization between the track speed and the lava scroll speed when you also have auto scroll. Like, it turns out this was a way to get everything lined up properly. I totally should have followed the coins there like I did before. I felt that was definitely my fault. But yeah, so you see, it works kind of like the crates do. Like, it creates the illusion of the crates in 3D World. But because all of it is kind of relative motion, you also get this massive jump height, like the illusion of a massive jump height, because the whole level is kind of going down at a controlled speed, right? So despite the fact that, you know, you actually have, I think, probably a medium scrolling speed, the speed of the level itself feels more or less constant, and your relative motion gives you this massive jump height. Yeah. Nice, nice. I feel like the big munchers do occlude some of the visibility there, but oh, let's get out of here before the burners. The burners are facing down, so that's not the issue. Okay. Yeah, this is very, very cool. And the thing is, no, I know that Electrodude were initially describing this as feeling kind of like low grav because of the jump height you get relative to everything else. I don't think it feels like low grav. I think it just feels like a high jump height. because the falling speed is still a normal falling speed. And I think one of the things it highlights to me is that like so much of the low grab effect isn't really about the jump height. It is actually much more about the floatiness. And the floatiness in terms of like the floatiness when you go down, not the floatiness when you go up. And I think that's much more obvious to me now that I've seen this level in action. That like the jump height is different, but the physics still feel normal. Just because of the fall. Oops, should have held a full jump there. When you first heard the Koopalings, you confused Lemmy and Wendy. Well, you know, everybody has to learn them a certain way. It is one of those things that I think is game knowledge that we really take for granted if, you know, like if you've been around with Mario since the classic games, like since the original 4, then it's very easy to tell this stuff apart. If you haven't been with Mario since then, or if you lapsed for a long time as a player, then that's much more difficult. Like, it's... And there are a lot of things with classic games like this, and just with Mario in general, I think, that are, you know, just received knowledge like that, right? Where, depending on whether you kind of grew up with it, you're going to have a different sense of what is obvious and what isn't obvious. It's kind of funny because, like, as I've said to some people on the stream before, you know, I've played all of the NSMB games, and I've played all of the mainline 3D games, like all of the 3D games, really. And I actually still don't know a lot of the enemy names in those games, in spite of doing them all like 100%. Because I just never learned that stuff the way I, you know, learned Mario. And it's actually very difficult to remember how people learned a lot of classic Mario stuff that was just kind of common knowledge at the time, like where the warp zones are, where the warp whistle locations in SMP3 were, you know, stuff like that. Oops, a little late there. Love how this is starting to change up a little bit with the Blue Skull platforms as well as the trampolines. Yeah, Cuban Pete, it's funny that you mention this reminding you of a Kavik level. Well, I don't think he's seen this one yet. But it'll be interesting to see what he makes of it relative to... Like, Electrodude, I don't think I've actually really seen Kavik play for levels that often, actually, because I don't always manage to make it to his viewer level times, which kind of presents some conflicts with me sometimes. It's actually one of the reasons I want to move off Wednesdays, is because there's so much overlap between, you know, my regulars and his regulars that, like, I kind of want to watch his stream as well, and I find that I've been missing that a lot lately. Yeah, I could see that this one came up fairly newly from just how few plays there were on it. But yeah, Real Cuban Pete, you can see why, when I heard about this tech, I was very eager to see it completed. Yeah. Love how the dry bones just kind of peeks out there. Like, I find that visually this has been very simple to read so far. Like, the big munchers, sometimes they kind of hide platforms that are coming up a bit, but that's the only thing. Like, otherwise the readability has felt, you know, pretty easy to work with. Kind of wondering about that blue Mecha Koopa timing here. Oh, okay. It looks like you fall on something that is directly under the lava level. You don't die right away. It is a little bit of a trick in terms of the visibility of the safety platform. Using, of course, the way that you can kind of hide certain things in the Super Mario World lava at one tile, like particularly with the blasters. I don't know what it was I was standing on. I don't know if it was blasters or something. But yeah, it totally is a jump scare. Hey, Real Cuban Pete. If you love levels like that and levels like this, hope you're paying attention to 4YMM, which is coming very soon, because that's exactly, you know, those kinds of levels, those kinds of makers. We're going to be covering that at the end of the month for sure when they start releasing 8 levels a week from the 4YMM Anniversary Project. We're going to cover that quite heavily on the stream. And yeah, if you enjoy watching levels that are kind of this sort of creativity, you will love that. Well, you know, Cuban Pete, like a lot of it, I think, you know, people become better makers by hanging out with good makers and really kind of thinking about what everybody else is doing and thinking about what they like and what they don't like about other people's styles. And like, I feel like I'm in a totally different place as a maker myself than, say, a year ago in terms of just polish and quality. Okay, yeah, here's the little jump scare from the blasters. And, you know, I think hanging out on Twitch, both as a viewer first for many months, and then recently as a streamer, has been a big change in terms of having a different perspective on what works and what kind of ideas are out there, and what kind of creativity is possible with this toolset. Yeah, Electrodude, I certainly hope the batches are popular the whole way as well. I'm kind of worried for whoever gets scheduled in mid-July and has to crash against Paper Mario, because, like, you know, Paper Mario is enough of a Nintendo event that it is going to kill a lot of attention on this game. And we're slamming right into that. Like, I think there probably is a lot of overlap in the player base. Okay, let's get back to next. Yeah, the Real Cuban Pete. You can see the code to this level on screen. I already cleared on the queue, of course, but want to jot down the code, and it's right there. But Wizoak, if you are still here. And Twitch believes Wizoak is here, so I'll load up the code. Now, 127, I know that there are a lot of people who, like, absolutely swear by... Well, I mean, you know, I think Super Mario RPG, and then the Alpha Dream Mario and Luigi series, and then the Paper Mario series are very different kinds of JRPG. Like, they represent 3 extremely different styles. I personally prefer, like, Thousand Year Door. I mean, I do love SMRPG, but I last played it, like, probably about 20 years ago, and no, that's not true. I last returned to it probably about a decade ago, and I remember thinking that some things like the isometric overworld platforming really did not age that well. But that was more, you know, kind of a limitation of how the Super Nintendo controls could handle diagonal isometric play. Definitely a game I should return to, actually. Super Mario RPG. Yeah, because it has been about a decade since I last looked at it. So let's take a look at Game of Trolls Troll Landing from Wizoak. And it says it's a relatively short troll level, yet F-U-N. Hey, Merlin, welcome back. And Pablo, if you need to take off, that's fine. And Wizoak, yeah, we're usually pretty good without hints. Unless it's a question of, you know, where I'm wondering if it's just like a puzzle problem or an execution problem, like whether or not I'm just doing something, making the correct decision but doing it wrong. Like, but I will ask you if I need one. Usually we're pretty fine without hints, though, even if I do get stuck for a while. But thank you for the offer. And yeah, Pablo, thank you once again for the submission that we saw from you earlier. You have a good day yourself. Yeah, Merlin, if you can't stay for very long, I know, not everybody is necessarily in a position to do this, but we are running a subscriber queue now as well. So that is something that may come in handy for people who can only drop in short periods. Not going to be pushy about that, of course. We have been doing this just fine without that. So that's going to block me. I wonder if eventually there's going to be some kind of exit through that pipe that will become important. Or, like you can see here, that's clearly going to be something that's mushroom breakable if we do come back. And then, oh, we're stuck here. What's down here? Nothing, okay. Okay, so let me think about this. Cheap there. We do clearly need... Oh, okay, no, because that's going to kill the blaster. Do we want to kill the blaster, though? Oh, looks like there's something down here, but it looks like a semi-solid. Or was it? Oh no, that's just what we were standing on to begin with. So here... Ah! Aha! Okay. So now we can break through the block on the left. We found that particular brick. Check here. And we do have a way to take damage if anything here is any power-up dependent. Okay, that's just going to drop on your head, but and it's going to push you because of the collision from the motor, so we can't just damage boost through it. So yeah, Merlin, thank you for 4-1 Wigglers and Giant Trees. Don't know if you'll be able to stay for that, but I hope to see it. Okay, so we'll let that come up. We'll spawn a mushroom. We'll let mushroom bounce. Okay, good. I'm glad the mushroom comes back and forth and doesn't... Oh, interesting. Interesting. That there's a thwomp switch here, or a bomb switch, I guess, that is within range. We need to keep that in mind. That there is some kind of interaction that causes a bomb explosion on that side. I think that is just a troll, though. Like, it's just there to bait you into grabbing the 50 coin, and if you hug the wall, you do take damage and get stuck. I don't think that's actually going to be part of any solution, given that we do need to get through... Oh, whoops. Get through the left pipe with the mushroom in hand. Yeah, 127, we don't tend to play levels by people who have already gone offline, but hopefully you are able to catch me next time, so thank you once again for the follow earlier. It's just that normally, like, our queue is long enough that we do have to prioritize the people who stay. But thank you for asking regardless. And I hope to see you back. Okay, let's nuke this. Let's not go up right away. Let the mushroom spawn. Whoops, sorry. We need to go left for the mushroom to spawn, and then we go back. A lot of this is just sometimes losing to my short-term memory. Especially when I'm chatting with people at the same time, but that's okay. We'll get through here. Okay, let's plan this. We know that going up drops the muncher from the jump block. We know that we can't just push through it because even if we are using invincibility frames, the muncher will push us down. So I think we just need to avoid the top box with all the coin. We just need to not deal with it. Interesting. Okay, okay. That's what that does. And so we just need to skip past it before the coin drop. And then we'll discover very soon whether that mushroom is required for some interaction with the bricks here, or if it is something that we should avoid. But that will take a different attempt to check. Whoops. Okay. Here we go. And the fish parts, yeah, I mean, you know, we know about it, but it is true that we sometimes need to just kind of time our way around that. You know what? I should have just... I mean, I don't know exactly when that coin is going to spawn. It is something that I am able to grab if I want it to, but we just need to remember to go fast through in this particular segment. Yeah, Electro-Dune, I don't think we, like, really straight up broke anything, but on the other hand, very few plays on that so far, so who knows. But, you know, it is less dependent on tons of long-term interactive parts compared to some of your other levels that depend on shells deflecting for ages and so on. So. Okay. And let's continue. It's gotta go fast. Alright, mushroom will bounce up. That seems necessary. Okay. Wonder if that spawn blocks anything. Ah, it looks like you're just supposed to go fast here in order to take damage and then beat the trampoline. I feel like I had to go fast. But I had to go fast immediately after getting the mushroom, and so like maybe these bricks here were supposed to be a distraction. These bricks could be a distraction, but if you come out through the pipe and then come back, who knows? I feel like all of these are just going to drop a fish in my head. Something. Like, we should check them at least once, but I'm not going to check them now. Whoops. Just going to try to get up to the top safely. Oh, not a fish. Got it. Let's crouch jump. Way up. Whoops. Let's just check it, whatever. Okay, I'm much more relaxed about that now. Check the top corner. Nothing. Well, I think that's probably going to be a sign that we are just going to have to take a death. But let's be very diligent about this anyway. Oh, look at that. Oh no, the claw is for the coin drop. Okay. Yeah, we just need to go fast. Bricks weren't a distraction when you were making it, and you guess people sometimes troll themselves. Yeah, that's how we usually lose on troll levels, is I troll myself constantly because I'm willing to try stuff. I mean, a lot of tricks in troll levels are dependent on making the player go, I don't think I really want to try that, right? Making them miss the thing that actually is the answer. I find that I tend to be fairly adventurous about just seeing something and trying it. And that gets me into trouble a lot, actually, because it means that I find a lot of things like soft locks. Some of them intentional, some of them not. And it means occasionally that I die a lot to very silly things that just come from trying stuff, you know? Okay, the pipe is not yet on screen. It is a red pipe, so it's going to try to spit the thing at us directly. It's going to spit the trampoline at us directly, so we just need to go. Go, go, go. There we go, yeah. And we can just barely beat the timing. Okay, I see, trampolines. And mole coming out the right side, yeah. Yeah, just really do have to plan around that fish after a while. I often don't have the patience to play anti-softlock games. I mean, I'll usually try them at least once, but I find that anti-softlocks are things that, like, if I see them once, I feel like I'm done with them. And, you know, in many cases, troll levels are good enough about letting you quickly reestablish your position that I would honestly rather just restart from scratch rather than play an anti-softlock. Because some of them just take forever to do, right? Oh, I forgot the mushroom. Okay. Whoops. Yeah, we just need to find some kind of consistent timing or position just to get the fish out of the way. Or just let that thing go down, that's also an answer. Let's let the blaster go back down before we make a run for it. Just to prevent the spawn. Whoops. I was trying to get one tile to the right side of that, and that did not work out at all. I can, of course, just hang left. But, you know. Go. Okay. Here we go. Edge soft lock is fairly small. Okay, yeah, that's good news. Forgot the mushroom. That's something I find I say very often when it comes to troll levels. Oh, I forgot this. Oh, I forgot that. That's fine. We need to be a bit careful, I think, but the fact that we actually trapped the blaster in that position is not going to be totally compromising. Okay, so let's remember to stall and wait for the mushroom. Whoops. Yeah, I accidentally hit that. I did not intend to jump on that block. Okay. Put it down. Good. Whoops. Getting a bit impatient with that, perhaps. But yeah, let that thing settle down. Spawn mushroom. Love the deflection pattern on a mushroom, by the way, just reusing the on-off switch for that purpose, of having it fall into a very nice, convenient location, and kind of get trapped there in a loop so you can pick it up safely. Nice to have something like that. Okay. Mushroom comes up, and then we just gun it. I think I just need to go this way. I feel like going through this pipe above the moles was probably necessary, like if we still had frames from taking damage in the previous segment. I don't know if we kept those invincibility frames going through the pipe, like it seemed like something I should know. Oh, fire flower to the left, okay. Fire flower to the left, but we needed to not get busted by the trampolines that propel us to the left, unless we can go down that pipe that is under the dry bones, which I don't know if we can, because I didn't try it. The collision on the dry bones would probably be an issue. Let's check this anyway. Oh, nothing here. Okay. I guess we're dead. Yeah. Wizzoka, as I often tell my viewers, like when I first started this stream a few months ago, I thought I was going to be one of those people who would just say, never send me a troll level. But then I found that, like, you know, they actually do appeal to one of the things I like about Mario Maker, which is just seeing interesting technical interactions and learning new things about what you could do about the game. And so I found that, like, playing troll levels had actually taught me some important stuff about... Oh, I see. Flower out of the red pipe. I see. So we just need to dodge the trampolines and stay in the right position, and then get on the left position. Then we start firing. Not firing, rather, but then we can boost through here. But yeah, I mean, I like learning about hidden technical interactions. You know, there are a lot of things that you can learn from troll levels that you can apply to regular puzzle levels or even traditional levels that, you know, I don't think I'll ever be the kind of person who makes a troll level, because I'm just much too fussy about a lot of traditional quality checks. I'm very fussy about that stuff as a maker, but I've definitely learned useful things from being willing to give troll levels a try as a player. And yeah, good troll levels do what good puzzle levels do, which is they, teach you about the, kind of edge cases in the game mechanics. And they're not so much about killing you, but about making you think about, like, how certain things are going to work in the game. I think that on balance, I still prefer kind of just more, like, non-troll puzzle levels in that they do a lot of the same things very well. But, you know, I try to learn something new about Mario Maker every time I play more viewer levels, and that's certainly a part of it. Okay. Alright, we'll need to figure out how to grab the Fire Flower without being busted by the trampolines that come. Okay, no, I need to get out of the way of the red pipe so it spawns the flower. But I need to do that with a certain timing. So the trampolines are going to come up, and when they come up, they pop the Fire Flower to the left. I need to be out of the way for that, but I also need the Fire Flower to be accessible. So I think the idea should be either that I get out of the way right before the trampolines come up to bust me, or yeah, because I don't want the flower to spawn too early, right? Because then I just lose access to it. Or when I drop, I go right, left, right, like right away. If I do that quickly, given that it's coming out of a red pipe, that might work. Just go right, left, right. But if I grab the Fire Flower, I'll be trapped as a 2-tile Mario in a 1-tile gap, and so I'd have to get out of there very quickly to avoid the trampolines. I need to try both methods, I think, in order to see what actually works. BDO, welcome. Thank you for the submission of Charbarg Bully, River, and Sewers. Looking forward to that. Lots of underused stuff in 3D World sometimes. Okay. Whoops. Yeah. Okay, whoops. Oh yeah, actually, Wizoak, I only just saw that about 5 minutes ago you offered to give me a hint, and I don't know what that was about. And I probably don't even remember at this point. It was something I was being particularly fussy about. So we'll just have to figure out the flower segment anyway, so... I'm just considering what my options are for that at this moment. Okay, mushroom. Fast. Alright, let's try the right, left, right method. Right, left, nope. Nope. And the collision is just gonna kill you. Okay, no, I think we need to do the last minute method. Get the flowers to spawn just like, yeah, I want to get out of the way of the trampolines, but without getting too far from the pipe. If I don't get too far from the pipe, then I've blocked the flower from spawning, and then I spawn it after the trampolines have passed me already. I think that might be something I can time out properly. Oh, whoops. About the part that I'm on. Yeah, that's fine. I actually want to experiment just a little further with that part first. If I'm really jammed there for a while, maybe I'll take a hint, but so far I think we're doing well in terms of, you know, going a lot of early stuff, yeah, but also kind of steadily discovering the level. Like, I think it's... Among troll levels, it's been fairly good to me about that. Oh, no. Way too far. Okay. Yeah, I need to think about, like... Oh, you know what? I won't get bounced if I'm just standing a little bit to the left like this. Yeah. I stand a little bit to the left like this. I hopefully don't get bounced by the trampolines coming up, because they're all coming up on this square. If I don't get bounced, Then I come over here. Then I grab the flower.